If you're moving to Suffolk, one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming all of Suffolk feels the same. It does not. One part of Suffolk feels more like suburb with shopping centers, newer neighborhoods, and quick interstate access. Another part feels quiet, rural, and much more spread out. That is what makes Suffolk tricky. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the hidden gem neighborhoods in Suffolk that deserve a lot more attention. These are neighborhoods that give you a good mix of value, convenience, lifestyle, and long-term potential. The first hidden gem neighborhood is Riverfront at Harbour View. This neighborhood is near Harbour View Boulevard, which means you are close to grocery stores, coffee shops, Target runs, gyms, restaurants, and pretty much everything people need on a daily basis. You are also close to Route 17, I-664, and the Monitor Merrimack Bridge Tunnel, which makes commuting much easier if you work on the peninsula or in other parts of Hampton Roads. The homes here are usually larger and more upscale. You can find condos and townhome style options in the upper 300 to low 400s, but most of the larger single family homes are going to be in the 600s to 700s and up. A lot of the homes have golf course views, water views, or larger lots, and the neighborhood overall feels very polished and established. The downside is that you're paying more for the location and convenience. If you want the most house or land for your money, there are better options elsewhere in Suffolk. But if you want a neighborhood that feels upscale and convenient without feeling too isolated, Riverfront is one of the strongest areas in Suffolk. Another neighborhood that deserves more attention is Burbage Grant. This area is especially good for people who want a neighborhood feel, community amenities, and easier access to the Coast Guard base, Chesapeake, and Newport News. One thing people like about Burbage Grant is that there are different types of homes depending on your budget. You can find smaller, detached condos and homes in the upper 300s, while the larger homes with more yard space are usually in the low to mid 500s. There are also lakes, walking paths, pools, playgrounds, and a stronger sense of community than you get in some of the other parts of Suffolk. This is one of those neighborhoods that works really well for military families, first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, and people who want to be near Harbour View without paying riverfront prices. You are also very close to College Drive, which means shopping, restaurants, grocery stores, and everyday errands are easy. The downside is that some parts of the neighborhood have smaller lots and homes that are closer together. If newer construction is high on your list, Creekside Reserve is worth looking at. The homes here are newer, generally between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet, and 4 to 5 bedrooms with the more modern floor plans. Prices are generally in the low to mid 500s depending on the upgrades, the lot size, and the floor plan. This area is really good fit if you want a newer home, enough room for a growing family, and a quieter setting. The downside is that you are not quite as close to shopping, restaurants, and the interstates as you are northeast of Suffolk. So if you are someone who wants to be 5 minutes from everything, this might feel a little too far out. Cedar Point. This neighborhood is near the Cedar Point golf course and close to Route 17, which makes it surprisingly convenient if you're commuting to Newport News, Hampton, or other parts of the peninsula. One of the reasons people love Cedar Point is because it does not feel cookie cutter. There is a mix of newer construction, older homes, larger homes, golf course views, mature trees, and different architectural styles. A lot of the homes are in the 500s to 700s, although some of the larger homes and golf course homes can be much higher than that. If you want a neighborhood that feels more unique and established, Cedar Point is going to be a great fit. The downside is that depending on where you are in Cedar Point, you may still be a little further from grocery stores, restaurants, and everyday conveniences than you would be in Harbour View. And finally, if you want the most privacy, more land, and a quieter pace of life, Sleepy Hole is another area worth looking at. This area is known for larger lots, golf course living, wooded home sites, and homes that feel a little more tucked away. You can find everything from older custom homes to newer homes on larger lots. Prices can vary a lot here, but many homes are in the 500s and up. What people like most about Sleepy Hole is that you can get more breathing room without feeling completely isolated, but you get a much quieter feel. The downside is that it can feel too far out for some people, especially if you're commuting every day to Norfolk or Virginia Beach during rush hour. But if you prioritize peace, privacy, and more land, Sleepy Hole is one of the best areas in Suffolk. At the end of the day, the best place to live in Suffolk really depends on what matters most to you. Some people want the shortest commute possible, some people want more land, some want newer construction, and some people want a quieter area where they can get more house for their money. That is why there's not one perfect neighborhood for everybody. So if you're thinking about moving to Suffolk and you want help figuring out which area actually fits your lifestyle, your budget, your commute, your day-to-day routine, reach out to us at COVA Collective Realty. We help people relocate to Hampton Roads all the time, and we would love to help you make the move with confidence.